You're on.
What's up, guys? We're coming to you from the app side. I always feel like I'm doing like one of those
Transitioning worlds.
portals. Anyways, episode 45 was pre-recorded on YouTube as I'm traveling, and we covered triangles. And Sean was representing the viewers on the YouTube, on YouTube or the YouTube, whatever. And Aaliyah is going to represent the viewers for the app. Anyways, guys, so let's go a little bit deeper on the triangles where we're talking about. So where the guy starts to stack you, guys. When you start to feel like you really, Sean, can you pivot? Yeah. When you feel like you're being stacked and just know, it's just going to happen. Try not to kind of do this. This is a problem. So when you feel like, okay, this is just gonna, this is not. So we discussed the fact that my arms can serve as frames, but also my legs start to push away. So when I start to feel like, okay, this is not gonna happen, I'm gonna post on his hip, and I'm gonna go ahead, start to stack, and then I'm gonna try to bounce in an angle. And from here, I'm going to try to basically at least go into turtle. So we kind of covered this concept when the guy has double under. Sort of late stage defense, double under. So it's very similar, but you need to read this. Once you sort of start to get stacked where your hips get crushed, you do not have this option. So you need to sort of start to read it fairly early on. This also happens maybe when you got a guy and you basically decided to go for a TP triangle and he starts to stack you. As he's stacking you, again, guys, with TP, generally you lost the ability to use your arms as a brace. So what I'm going to try to do is, as I disengage, I try to bounce. But guys, very important, turn your head. If you're going to go look straight at the ceiling, this is going to hurt. Turn your head and bounce. As I'm bouncing, I'm going to get to my knees, and depending if he's coming forward, I'm going to regard. Okay? If he backs away, I'm going after him. So he starts to stack me. I start to push. I bounce. And if he's backing away, I'm going in, head in the middle, and put him down. If he, like I said, if he starts to back away, I regard. So that's some of the things you can do in triangles. Again, triangles are won and lost in subtleties usually, and there's plenty of guys that the huskier kind guys that have good enough game. They bait triangles because it's like an easy guard pass for them. So do not allow them an easy guard pass. Triangle the daylights out of them repeatedly until they realize that, oh, I cannot escape a good triangle. That said, you need to be able to recognize when you may not have set it up properly, or the guy's defense was too good, and that as things start to fall apart, that you are now going, have to disengage and try to fight another day before they stack you and crush your hips. Once your hips crush, your guard is getting passed.
So we had a question about the scarf fold choke.
Scarf hold. The big man's move.
The big man move.
So, yeah, this is kind of funny, guys. So yesterday at Open Mat, I finished training, and I'm looking at two of my, one is about 200, the other guy is 220, and he can't finish the scarf hold. Kesagatame. And there was two other guys, and I picked the biggest guy. I said, come here, and I did it to him. So scarf hold, kesagatame, is a move that is, in judo, can be extremely powerful. Also, Josh Barnett finished guys with it, elite, world-class guys with it at elite competitions. So when that happens, you know that's not a crap technique. Okay, so what does that mean? What it means is that usually people do not scarf hold, they do not headlock because they get punished for it. But the reason that happens is because they're so bad at it. But if you get a guy that's really good at it, then it's a legitimate, very strong move. So when you do it, we're going to go over that. I know Sean is not the biggest one, but I could tell you guys that I could keep a pretty big man down and I can choke a pretty big man. So it cannot just be a hold. It needs to be also something that makes that position untenable. Because at some point, if that guy starts to bust out, you're probably going to lose it. So let's go this way. No. Let's go this way. This way. So generally speaking, I'm not going to go on over this. I generally speaking don't use it. But if I do, generally speaking, I'm going to try to keep my head above Sean's. Here you're vulnerable to turnovers or the guy bringing the leg over. So that's the first thing is stay bent. 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the head. So anytime I'm going for an arm triangle or for this, I adjust the head. So what I do is I don't lift, I don't pull to me. I lift and pull to me and make sure I go deep. And I anchor myself on the leg. From here, yes, it helps if I can isolate the arm, but I'm going to do it without the isolation. So from here, guys, I'm in a position. If I keep my butt on the floor, a lot of my weight is in the floor, it's in my butt. So what I'm going to do is lift my butt off the floor, and now I'm going to engage my core. That's where the choke comes from. The choke is not the arm. This sucks, but Sean can take it. Can you take it maybe? Mm-hmm. How about this? The constriction comes from my core, not from the arm. Okay? Remember that, guys. Again, there were literally high-level black belts, big brand-name black belts. They got finished with this move. If that happens, there's something to it. It's not a fluke. It's not, no. If that happens, that guy has to be really good at it. Like I said, there's generally speaking with kesagatame, headlock sort of, it's kind of a school bully technique, but if you do this well, so there's 2 types. People either do it extremely badly or extremely well. If the guy does it extremely well, high probability you finished. So I'm going to keep switching sides so you guys can see it from both sides. But again, so maybe I just passed the guard and I just dropped in with a knee cut. So a lot of times what I'm going to do is, guys, make sure you adjust the head. Don't just kind of go into it. Adjust the head, anchor, and from here, make sure you're leaning forward, engage the core. Get your weight a little bit, it doesn't have to be high. I'm not doing this. Literally, I just get my weight off the ground to make sure that he carries my weight. Engage the core. And you get a constriction, okay? So, when I do this, I usually do it to people that I have a fun rolling relationship with. I would probably not try it on a 220-pound guy that he and I are banging our heads. But that said, guys, it's good for you to have it because if you have it well, then your students will have a good defense against it. Although I got to be honest with you, I'm sometimes watching some of my higher level students, and I'm watching them with one of the big guys whose specialty this is, and he's really good at it. And they try to do split guard from butterfly guard. I'm like, this poor slob. Let's see how quickly that he's going to tap to the kesagatame. And it's usually within 10 seconds. that guard pass happens very quickly because split guard, if you got butterfly guard and you got each attempting split guard, it's that pain can get eliminated very quickly, and then the guard pass happens very quickly. So let's look at it again.
Fox, regarding the core, you said you're engaging the core. Is it forward, sideways?
It's yeah, that's a really good question. So it's the same principle that I use on a one-handed guillotine. So we can go to it. So because that's a very, very important thing. So guys, when you choke people, right? When you do a rear naked choke, what you're doing is the arms are not doing the work. It's not this. It's you kind of slow, you know, not you don't hold your breath because you can't hold your breath, especially in the battle. But you're kind of trying to tighten up your core so it stays almost like a. Because if you breathe and like really big breaths through your chest cavity, it's the constriction is strong weak. That's not gonna work. I do the same thing where I just push. So it's kind of like you tighten it up and you kind of push with your chest, with your ribs. That's where the power comes from. So we're gonna do it again a couple more times. So as I'm coming through, what I'll do is I'll lift the guy's head up, make sure that, and get I can stay here, I can breathe, I keep the constriction. So you need to be able to breathe, but at the same time make it strong in a way that works, even if you're breathing, if you're talking. So it's not just holding your breath, it's just kind of tightening up your core. Think about it if somebody's gonna punch you in the ribs. What are you gonna do?
Try to tense up.
Yeah. I hope somebody doesn't send me a video of them and their buddy punching each other in the ribs in their basement. So yes, that's what it is. It's like basically you tense up. Same thing like with, if you're striking and that strike is coming in, usually you tense up so that strike does not go in deep. So sit out, control the head, anchor, and squeeze. I want to do it, we're going to do a no-gi a little bit because it's a little bit easier to see. I use the same thing, same type of constriction for one arm guillotine. And again, this is an extremely important aspect of, maybe you could see a little bit better without the gi. So it's the same thing when you apply rear naked choke, you're not doing this. You're not squeezing your arms. You kind of tense up your torso. So this part becomes almost stationary. Okay, it's not, because if your arms start to burn out or you're kind of doing this and your chest is heaving, it's just any constriction when you have. You allow the guy to kind of like just smoke comes in and out. Not smoke. I just saw smoke outside. I'm sorry, guys. Welcome to my world. It's like when oxygen gets back into the brain, starts to flow. It's like everything. How many times have you like I see it all the time in class. I'm teaching a constriction choke, and I see the guy getting choked be doing like this. And then the guy that's actually doing the choking kind of doesn't have confidence, makes an adjustment. The adjustment starts to work, the guy goes like this, and the guy starts to lose confidence again. And they basically, and they never finish because they lose confidence before they actually get to the finish. So it's very important, especially in the when you're relatively junior, when you're relatively starting out, is when you practice your chokes. Whatever, it's simple. Rear naked choke, make a good structure. Make sure it's connected. And then I bring my elbows together and the chest forward. But I'm tensing up, okay? I use the same exact choking mechanism for one-arm guillotine. So a lot of people, when they get to this position, you tell me, Sean, how's this?
It's not pleasant, but
It sucks, right? But it's not finishing somebody. So that's a problem. You know, and Sean is not the biggest guy out there. So if you're having a hard time finishing a guy like that because you're pulling with your arm, what are you trying to do? Is rip his head off? No, I'm trying to cut off the blood circulation to his brain, enough for him to tap. So what I do instead of pulling, I just tighten up my chest and compress. I didn't even get to tighten it. You know, so the point is so this is what I'm doing. So instead of doing pulling, what I'm doing is wrap. Look how small that hole gets. Again, guys, any kind of constriction, you always focus on making that hole small. It could be slow. You don't have to rush. A lot of times, especially when you're practicing constrictions, you should be moving slowly to the point where, and gently, most importantly, because people, especially with, oh man. That's the garbage truck, guys. We just had the cleaning crew come through. It's an amazing thing that I'm keeping it together.
This is the few.
Say it again?
A few more minutes.
Yeah.
I actually have a question about
Yes.
the scarf fold choke. When they pull out their arm, the follow-up, if you lost it.
Which
So if
arm?
you- the one that's, yeah, so the arm that's,
Oh.
yeah.
So again, guys, the only people is I'll go. So this one.
Yeah, if you somehow, before you're able to connect that hand to your inner thigh.
Yeah.
look, if I come in here.
Yeah, just
Abandoned.
come up.
Anytime I'm in a position where the guy, so when I'm doing an arm triangle, or I'm doing kasagatame, which I don't do that much. I only do it as to make a point. Let me turn this way because my head is. So when I do a kasagatame or arm triangle, basically there's a possibility of if you screw this up that they're gonna take you back. So anytime you have that possibility, be it arm triangle, be it this kasagatame, if that possibility starts to become real, I'm thinking inside leg on their belly. It cuts out any back attack. So as I'm doing this, I got him. Nope. Immediately. So again, I don't use it that much because I don't have that much heft, but it is a really good technique. I do take pride in the fact that I can do it well if I choose to do so. For you guys, it's good for, and I teach the defense. It's like a fundamental Gracie self-defense or whatever, but, in a schoolyard bully sort of world, I believe this is one of the top techniques. I don't know for sure, but
Something natural about it.
yeah, something natural about it. So so you need to know how to defend it, and like I said, it can be done either very, very poorly or very well. So again, you need to have a good defense. If there's a lot of questions about it, I will cover the defense because there's a lot to it. There's a lot of pieces to the defense. I actually have a story. We could talk about it next time. But again, if I decide to, as I'm sitting out, he gets a knee on the belly, first thing. Knee on the belly. You're already posting on that elbow. So knee on the belly, that's your best bet. It short circuits any back take. If you start to, if you're trying to pull that, if you overcommit to pulling that arm, as look. So let's look at that again. So as I'm doing this, right, and Sean starts to retract that arm, the more I'm hunting that arm, the more I'm exposing my back. Because now, so I want to be here, right? And as I start to hunt for it, look how I'm exposing my back. So you don't want to, obviously you don't want to be doing that. So again, I do the same thing as, let's just go arm triangle. And it starts to, you start to go to my back. No, go. Yeah. Knee on the belly. So that is probably, that's your best bet, is if it starts to fail. And just like that, we're out of time. Somehow I did keep it together. I will see you guys next week.